Hi, I'm Amy Shannon, and yes, I'm in black and white. If you don't know what black and white is, I'm sorry. Um, but I kind of thought it was fitting for what I wanted to talk about. Um, I'm currently working on another local nonfiction historical book, um, focusing on settlers and pioneers, not necessarily prominent ones but those who made an impact, even if it was a quiet one. And it's also dedicated to all the children of those pioneers who were lost or were never able to grow up. Um, and when I do my research, obviously, I have a lot of notes from my previous book and I keep adding to it. Um, I access various websites that are credible and can give me some information. And sometimes I can't find the information. I have to really dig. And I I I know why that happens, but it's the 17, you know, 1700s, 1800s, early 1900s, Um, you may have heard of prominent men, but have you heard of their wives? Anyway, when I was doing my first book, I was really drawn to Lucretia Booth. So much so that I kept digging and getting as much information as I could find. And the information really came from information about her mother or about her husband or about her father or their families. Um, in July of 2025, I wrote an article for the Saratoga County Historical Society about Lucretia Booth. Um, I can't explain what her life means to me. I'm not related to her, but I was drawn to her and knowing her life and that she lost a lot of children, but she was a guiding force for women's education. And some people, they never heard of her. You could, before I wrote my article, you could Google her and it would come up as a daughter of her mother. Um, Now, when you Google her, at least you get my article and can learn more about her. When I do my research, I like to browse. There's a website called Find a Grave, which I am a credible contributor to that because it is a place, a website you can go to, and you're supposed to be able to find any persons that are buried in a cemetery or just have passed, and even if their burial information is unknown. And so when I find something that's in there and it's incorrect, or someone that should have a record and they don't, I'll add it. I'll link families to each other. Um, Sometimes I just find a kid's parents or just, people that should be part of the records. I mean, we're we born we are born and then we pass. And hopefully, in between, we have lived a full life. I think I've lived a full life, but I want to keep going. So, back to the Find a Grave. And it's not just about the um, the records, but sometimes in the information provides details about their obituary. And I must say that you can find out a lot about a person's obituary and um, how that person lived, maybe what they did for a living, how many, were they married? Did they have uh, children, grandchildren, things like that. And I think it's important for all of us to be able to um, reflect on a past that maybe we weren't part of, but can find some peace in that and learn about people, even though it may not be your family. I can't explain why the Creation Booth inspires me. She was she fought very hard for women's education, making sure it was comparable to men. And I know I keep coming back to that person. Um, the other day, my son took me to do one of my cemetery tours, the Ballston Spa Village Cemetery, and I finally came face to face with her stone, her monument, and I must say, I just with I just sat there for a little while and appreciated the kindness and the peace that was there. My whole trip in the cemetery, I would be going around and I see a stone. I'm like, oh, I know that person, or I know that person. And yeah, I kind of do, even though they died 200 years ago or 100 years ago. And it's because I've researched and read about their life. And it's not just about research, it's about caring and breathing life into something that may have been long ago disappeared. So that is why I have cemetery tour videos. And I can't get out very often to do them. But sometimes I'll find a stone that the name just, and I may not know that person. I don't know that person. And I make a note, a photograph, video, and I go through it before I edit it. And then I get curious about these ordinary people who are just living their lives. They had families, they died. Maybe they were a painter or um, a mason. Um, Maybe they were a hardworking farmer that had to also work three jobs to support their family. And I have the greatest respect for farmers, teachers, and people who take care of their family. And in some way, even if it's just a small piece, become part of their community. So those are what my intentions are for my books. But I also want it to be more than just books. Um, I want to be able to have those people come to life. And hopefully, with my stories um, and information about these wonderful people who lived lives, lost children, continued on, worked very hard, and especially the women who were allowed by their husband to stand beside them and not behind them. And I do mean allowed. Anyway, this has been Amy Shannon, and I hope to share some more information with you. Thank you.